Hi, it's Gordon with week 2 of 2012, A Year with Mya-Moe Unscripted. And this week's subject is strings. I'm sure I'm going to address it another time during the year. This time I'm going to talk about different materials and how they affect the tone of your instrument. So my biggest hint here is to experiment. Don't be afraid to change your strings. It's the only way you're going to find what you like. And when it comes to strings, changing them, or different materials and different types, it's the biggest thing that you can do to affect the tone and playability of your existing instrument. What you like in strings is what you like. It doesn't matter what your friend likes or what Jake Shimabukuro plays. What you like and the tone of and the feel of is really all that matters. And I will say that the different strings, they're different on different instruments. So you may find that on one of your instruments you like nylon and on another one you like fluorocarbon. And that happens quite frequently because strings will play differently on different instruments. So let me talk a little bit about those materials and how they vary. All of the strings for ukuleles are what I think of as nylon based. You've got the pure nylons, both clear and black. Then you've got fluorocarbon. And then you've got Nylgut, which is Akila's proprietary material. Now the density of these different materials changes, and with that, thickness of the strings change. So the nylon are the least dense, and therefore the strings are the thickest. Fluorocarbon are in the middle. Fluorocarbon are the most dense, and therefore they are the smallest diameter, and it's the Nylgut that are in the middle of density. The Nylgut are the ones that are a little milky white, and they have a different feel. They have a gritty feel, and some people like that, and some people don't. Now the least dense, the nylon, tend to sound the warmest, and the Nylgut, because of that material, sounds the brightest, and the fluorocarbon is somewhere in the middle. So the right string for you is going to be a function of what tone you like, but also the instrument. On our instruments, we prefer fluorocarbon. Now that's for our ear, but we find that the Nylgut are just too bright, almost brittle for our instruments, which are built to be very light and responsive. Whereas on a factory instrument, which tends to be a little bit overbuilt, having that additional brightness can be really nice. And if you're finding that the tone of your ukulele is a little bit too bright for your ear, well, try a set of nylons like the GHS or the Diodarios, and I think you'll find that those warm it up. Now, I will note that you might have to change or have changed the slots in your nut, the little piece of bone up by the tuners where the strings go through, because those are sized for the strings. So if you go to a thicker string, you might need that slot opened up just a little bit. It's an easy job by a local guitar shop or luthier. People ask about low G and high G. So I know that on our instruments, when we use the fluorocarbon, you can change between a fluorocarbon high G and a wound low G because they're almost the same diameter. There is no change to the way that we construct and set up the instrument for those two strings. Now in fluorocarbon, you can get a fluorocarbon low G, but as you might expect, because that low G is such a low tone on the scale, that string is very fat, so fat that the nut slot has to be opened up so wide that it becomes dedicated to that string, because if you put another thinner string in, it will buzz in that very wide nut slot. So if you want to go back and forth between high G and low G, you likely are going to want the wound low G. And we do sell a set of strings, fluorocarbon, that has both a high and a wound low in it. And you know which one is better for a low G? Well, it's your preference. We like that wound low. It gives more presence and more sustain to the string. The big fat strings tend to start sounding a little bit funky, but the fluorocarbon low G does give you nice balance with the other strings, so that's a consideration as well. As you can tell, there's no right or wrong answer here. It is your ear your instrument, your playing style, and what you like. And so the key message is don't be afraid to change your strings. Try it, experiment, and through that you will find out what you like for your playing style and for each one of your instruments. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.